All right, we are diving deep into Switzerland's Jungfrau region. But this isn't just about pretty pictures. We're going to get into the soul of the place, and, just as importantly, the strategy you need to have a truly incredible trip. Let's do it.
You know what? That's probably the most perfect way to describe it. This is a place so grand, so over the top, it honestly feels like it was designed just to make your jaw drop.
I mean, just look at this. This is the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and it's basically a giant trench scraped out by glaciers millions of years ago. We're talking about cliffs that shoot thousands of feet straight up with these tiny little waterfalls just spilling over the edge. The scale is it's staggering.
So our whole goal here is to give you both sides of the coin. Yeah, we want you to see the jaw-dropping views, but we also want to give you the tactical smarts to plan a trip that feels real, that gets you away from the biggest crowds and lets you tap into the actual magic of this place.
Okay, first things first, you absolutely have to get the lay of the land. I'm serious. Every single decision you're going to make, where you sleep, what you do during the day, it all comes back to the basic geography of these valleys.
And this brings you to your very first big strategic choice. Do you stay down in the valley, where it's practical, easy to get around, the logistical hub of everything? Or do you stay up on the cliffs, in a little village, for those absolutely mind-blowing, I can't believe this is real kind of views? It's really a classic trade-off, convenience versus atmosphere.
And this map just lays it all out, doesn't it? You can see that perfect Y shape of the valleys. Right down here at the junction, that's Lauterbrunnen. That's your logistical heart. But look way up here. This little village is Mern. It's car-free, and it's sitting on what they call the view shelf. And let me tell you, where you set up your base camp, it is the most important decision you're going to make.
Now, let's talk about the big names, the big three. But please, don't think of these as just things to check off a list. Each one of them tells a totally unique story.
You've got the epic, historic journey to the Jungfrau. Then there's the whole cinematic James Bond legacy of the Schilthorn. And for something completely different, you have the pure adrenaline rush of Grindelwald first. They are three totally different worlds.
Let's start at the top, literally. Going to Jungfrau Joch isn't just about getting to the top. The journey itself is the main event. You're riding this old-school cogwheel train that actually tunnels through the Eiger Mountain. I mean, think about that. And when you get up there, you're at the highest train station in Europe, and you can walk through a palace literally carved out of a glacier and look out from the Sphinx Observatory onto this sea of endless peaks. It's wild.
Next up, the Schilthorn. Now this place has a story that's straight out of Hollywood. This revolving restaurant up here, Piz Gloria, it was the villain's lair in the 1969 James Bond movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service. So you can go up, sip a martini, and get these insane 360-degree views of more than 200 different mountain peaks. It's pure cinematic coolness.
And then, for a complete change of pace, you've got Grindelwald first. This is the region's adventure playground, hands down. If you're looking for a thrill, this is where you go. You can do the cliff walk, which is just bolted onto the side of a sheer rock face. You can fly down a half-mile-long zip line, or you can race down the mountain on these awesome mountain carts. It's just pure, high-altitude fun.
Okay, look, the icons are incredible. You should see them. But, and this is a big but, the real soul of the Jungfrau region, it's often found just a little bit off the beaten path, in these incredible spots that most people just completely miss.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, Jungfrau Joch alone gets over 1 million visitors a year. So how in the world do you find a quiet moment for yourself?
Well, believe it or not, there's a spot here with views that are just as good as the famous peaks, but it gets only about 1% of the visitors. 1%.
So it all comes down to knowing where to look. First, you find this tiny little hamlet called Solwald. You get there on this little red cable car that fits maybe 8 people. Or a single cow, no joke. The views are just breathtaking and there's nobody there. And then you have to explore Trümmelbach Falls. It's a UNESCO site where you go inside the mountain to see 10 glacial waterfalls just blasting through the rock. You can actually feel the whole mountain vibrating before you even see them. It's raw power.
All right, let's switch gears. We're going into full-on planner mode. You've got the inspiration, now you need the playbook to build a really smart, flexible trip.
Listen up, because this is the golden rule. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Mountain weather is a beast. It changes in a heartbeat. You absolutely cannot have a rigid day-by-day plan. You have to save your big, expensive trips like Jungfrau for a day when the forecast is crystal clear. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away.
And this is exactly why. Imagine shelling out over $200 to get to the top of Europe. And this is your view? A total whiteout. Building a weather day into your schedule isn't a nice to have, it's an absolute must.
So how long should you stay? Well, 3 to 4 days is what I'd call the sweet spot. That gives you time for one of the big excursions, a chance to explore both valleys, and, most importantly, that flexible weather day. But if you can swing 5 to 7 days, oh man, that's when you go from just visiting to truly living there. You have time for multiple big hikes, you can try both major peaks, and you can really just soak in the whole rhythm of the place.
And the travel passes? Yeah, I know, they can seem super complicated, but this little flowchart actually makes it pretty simple. Are you going to be visiting other places in Switzerland? Then the Swiss Travel Pass is probably going to be your best friend. But if you're only staying in the Jungfrau region for 3 or more days and you plan to hike a lot, the Jungfrau Travel Pass was literally made for you. And if you're on a budget, just doing 1 or 2 big trips, the Swiss half-fare card is almost always the smartest move.
Because really, that's what this is all about. Using all this strategy isn't just about efficiency. It's about giving yourself the space to slow down, to actually breathe the mountain air, and to connect with this incredible landscape in a way that really sticks with you.
So there you have it, your guide to the soul and the strategy of the Jungfrau region. If you want the full day-by-day plan with all my favorite spots to stay and eat, you can find the complete itinerary over at peterontour.com. Thanks so much for tuning in.